Hi Year 10, this video is about algebraic factors and the distributive law. In other words, finding some factors and expanding expressions. There's a lot of questions in this part of the booklet. Don't feel the need to do every single question. Spend the lesson doing as many questions as you can, but make sure that you get to the end part of what I've set for today's work. So if you do every second question and feel confident with that, that's perfect. If you need to do every single question to feel confident, that's fine as well. But I don't want you to feel overwhelmed by the amount of work that's in this section of the booklet. You'll need your algebra review booklet. So we've done highest common factors of plain numbers with no algebra before. So a number which is a factor of two or more numbers is a common factor, and the highest common factor is the largest factor. So let's apply that to algebra. The highest common factor of 12x and 16y. The biggest number is 4, and there's no factors between the x and the y. Let's have a look at this next example. 8xy squared and 6x squared. Well, the common number is 2 and the common letter is x. Okay, I'm going to do one more, which is k down here. The common number between 26 and 18 is 2. Now let's look at the letters. The common letter is an x, and it's a z, but only a z, not a z squared, because there's a z squared in here, but only a z in the first one. And let's do one more down in question 3. This is the hardest that you'll get. So I'm looking for a common factor between the first example and the second example. Well, the number is 2. Between 4 and 6 is 2. Now there's an x which is common, and then there's a bracket. X plus 1 is the same in both expressions. So that's the common factor. Now I'd like you to have a go at the rest of these questions, and then on the next slide, there are the solutions. Let's take a look at what's called the distributive law. And this basically means expanding expressions. That's all we're doing. So to expand an expression, I put my pencil on the first number and I draw an arrow to the first number in the brackets and I multiply. So 3 lots of 4x gives me 12x. Pencil back on the first number, arrow to the second number in the brackets, 3 lots of 1 gives me 3, and that's my answer. Let's do it again. Pencil on the 2x, arrow to the first number in the brackets, 2x times 5 gives me 10x. Pencil back on the 2x, arrow to the next term in the brackets. Now there's a negative here, so we have to be careful. It's 2x times negative 2x. So it's going to be negative 4x squared. And C, pencil on the negative 2x times x. It's going to give us negative 2x squared. Pencil on the negative 2x times by negative 3. So we've got two negatives going to make a positive. 2 times 3 is 6. So negative 2x squared plus 6x. And that's all there is to it. Have a go at the questions in the box. Check your answer on the next slide. Now these questions are just slightly different because there's 3 terms inside the brackets. So let's do B together. And the reason I've chosen B is because there's just a negative sign, there's no number. And sometimes this tricks people up. But the negative is actually the number -1. So we treat this just as any other question. Sometimes it helps to put a -1 there. So pencil on the -1, draw in an arrow, gives us -x². Draw in an arrow, -1 times x gives us -x. And a third arrow because there's 3 numbers. -1 times -4 gives us +4. Okay, so I want you to do the questions in that box. And I'm also, because we're on this page, going to do the example in the box below. Now the difference here is we've got 2 sets of brackets separated by a plus sign. And it just means that we do them separately. So 2 lots of 3x gives us 6x. 2 lots of -1 gives us -2. Plus 3 lots of 5 plus 3 lots of -x. And there's a next step where we just tidy everything up. And let's do the next one. Difference with this one, really important difference, is the -2x. Because that negative belongs to that -2x. And it's going to affect how we multiply. Okay, over the page. I'd like you to have a go at these questions, as many as you can, and then check your answer on the page next.